Alright, welcome to our second video. So in this video, we are going to look at how to find a slope from 2 points. So remember, we should have our equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, this is how we're going to find our slope. Remember, we have an x and a y and an x and a y. Doesn't matter which one we make x, which one we make x1 and y1, or which one we make x2 and y2. Again, remember to pause the video and see if you can solve this first, or just go through the review. Alright, so we're going to start with our y's. So here we go, we're going to start with these two. Again, it doesn't matter which one. I always like to make this one my second and this one my first, just because I like to go in order. So I'm going to take my -2 minus my -1, which means if I start with this one, I have to start with the 3. So I'm going to do my 3 minus my 5. Okay? Again, I can do it the opposite way. So I could start with my -1 minus my -2, which would mean that I need to start with my 5 minus my 3. Both of these will come up with the same answer. Okay, so right here, -2 minus a -1. Again, use your calculator if you need it. We'll come up with a -1 over 3 minus 5, which is a -2. Notice right here we have two negatives, so that's going to make it a +1/2. We'll do that same thing down here, -1 minus a -2, which would be a +1. And 5 minus 3, which is a +2, which is where we get our 1/2. So again, it doesn't matter the order, we'll still end up with that 1/2. Okay? Let's try another one. So I'm going to draw my line here. Let's say that I have -3, 4, and 4, -2. So something like this. Again, remember, x, y, x, y. So again, pause the video if you want to try it. Here we go. I'm going to start off with this one, so I do 4 minus my -2 over -3. Because I started with this one, I have to start with this one. -3 minus 4. So again, up here, 4 minus a -2 is going to be a +6. And -3 minus 4 is going to be a -7. Again, if you did that the opposite way around, you should still get 6 and -7, or you might get a -6 and a +7. Again, doesn't matter which number the negative is on, as long as your numbers are right, okay? Also keep in mind, you could still get 0 or undefined here. If I had, let me grab another one of these. Sorry about that. If I were to have 3, -4, and then I were to have a 3, 0, something like that, right? Again, x, y, x, y. If I do my y, so I have a -4 minus 0 over 3 minus 3. So notice here I'm going to end up with a -4 over 0. Remember, I don't want to leave my answer like this. If I have a 0 in my answer, I either have 0 or undefined. Remember, it's 0 if the 0 is on the top. So if I had 0 over -4, then it would equal 0. But if I have -4 over 0, it is undefined. And again, we can always double check that by, if I plug that in my calculator, if I do -4 divided by 0, I'll end up with an error button, which means undefined. If I do 0 divided by -4, I will actually end up with 0 as my answer. Okay? That's how to find a slope given 2 points. The next part of this video is how to tell the difference between the slope and the y-intercept given an equation. So I have a couple problems up here. I have 4 actually. Now remember, my equation y equals mx plus b. M is my slope. B is my y-intercept. So this one is just as simple as, can I look at the picture or equation and tell which one is my slope and which one's my y-intercept? And what number is there? So for instance, this first problem, this 4 is my slope. This -5 is my y-intercept. And this one, -2/3 is my slope. +7 is my y-intercept. And this one, notice there's no number right here in front of x, but remember we can always put a 1 there. So in this case, it is my 1 is my slope. And then over here, I also have a +1 as my y-intercept. That can also be a negative. Remember, if I have a -x here, +3, this -1 would be my slope, and this +3 would be my y-intercept. And then last but not least, notice here, we just have one number. So we know that it's one of those two. It's either slope or y-intercept. Remember, slope is the number next to x. In this problem, we don't have an x, which means my slope is 0 because there is no x. And then this 5 is my y-intercept. Okay, that's a super quick question on your quiz or your test where all you have to do is be able to determine what is slope and what is y-intercept. Awesome. So for this question, you need to answer what color. And so in your blank, all I want you to do is write red. R-E-D. All right, third video is coming up.